We thought camping was safe, until we saw it standing just beyond the firelight. 4 of us had decided to spend a weekend in the deep woods, far from the city's noise and light pollution. Little did we know, our peaceful getaway would turn into a nightmare we'd never forget. The first day was uneventful. We hiked, set up camp, and enjoyed the serenity of nature. As night fell, we gathered around the campfire, sharing stories and roasting marshmallows. But there was an unsettling stillness in the air, as if the forest itself was holding its breath. That night, I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig sent shivers down my spine. I tried to convince myself it was just my imagination running wild, but deep down, I knew something wasn't right. The second day started normally enough. We explored the area, took photos, and enjoyed the crisp mountain air. But as we returned to our campsite, we noticed something odd. There were strange indentations in the soft earth around our tents, massive footprints that didn't match any animal we knew. At first, we laughed it off. Maybe it's just a really big bear, Jake joked nervously. But the prints were too large, too humanoid. We tried to push the unsettling discovery out of our minds as night approached once again. That evening, the forest seemed different. The usual chorus of crickets and night birds had fallen silent. We huddled closer to the fire, our voices hushed as if we were afraid to disturb whatever was out there. It was around midnight when we heard it. A low, guttural growl that echoed through the trees. We froze, our eyes darting from shadow to shadow. "Did you guys hear that?" Sarah whispered, her voice trembling. Before anyone could answer, something massive crashed through the underbrush just beyond our campsite. We scrambled for our flashlights, hearts pounding. The beams cut through the darkness, revealing nothing but swaying branches and dancing shadows. Then it happened. A rock, no, a boulder came hurtling out of the darkness, missing Mike's head by inches. It crashed into our cooler, sending food and drinks flying. Panic set in. We grabbed each other, forming a tight circle, our flashlights scanning frantically. For a split second, we caught it in the beam. A tall, hulking figure with glowing red eyes, staring back at us from between the trees. It was massive, easily 8 feet tall, covered in dark, matted fur. Those eyes, ... They weren't just reflecting our light. They were glowing with an otherworldly intensity. We ran. There was no discussion, no plan. Pure instinct took over as we bolted for the car, leaving everything behind. Branches whipped at our faces. Roots threatened to trip us with every step. The sound of something massive crashing through the forest behind us spurred us on, terror giving us speed we never knew we had. I glanced back once, and immediately wished I hadn't. It was gaining on us, moving with impossible speed for something so large. I saw a flash of those red eyes, heard a roar that seemed to shake the very ground beneath our feet. We reached the car in a frenzy, piling in and locking the doors. Jake fumbled with the keys, his hands shaking so badly he could barely get them in the ignition. The engine roared to life just as a massive shape burst from the tree line. We peeled out onto the dirt road, tires spinning, rocks flying. In the rear-view mirror, I caught one last glimpse of it standing in the middle of the road, watching us flee. Even from that distance, I could feel the weight of its gaze. The drive home was silent. We were all too shocked, too terrified to speak. What had we just encountered? It couldn't be real, and yet we had all seen it, felt its presence, heard its inhuman roar. Days passed, and we tried to rationalize what had happened. Maybe it was an elaborate prank. Maybe we had all somehow shared a mass hallucination. But deep down, we knew the truth. We had come face to face with something that shouldn't exist. A week later, Mike decided to go back for his expensive camera he'd left behind in our hasty escape. We begged him not to go, but he insisted he'd be fine in broad daylight. He returned pale and shaken, clutching his recovered backpack. "It was waiting for me," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "I found this hanging from a tree branch near our campsite." He pulled out his shirt, or what was left of it. It had been shredded to ribbons, yet hung with an eerie precision, as if carefully placed there as a message. We never spoke of that night again, at least not to anyone else. Who would believe us? But sometimes, on dark nights, when the wind whispers through the trees, I swear I can hear that low growl, see those glowing red eyes watching from the shadows. And when we checked the tent the next morning, the zipper was open,